Hello and welcome to Nintendo Pals Podcast, episode 300. Yeah! I'm playing an epic saxophone sound. That's right. It's episode 300 of Nintendo Pals Podcast. Micah and I are going to be giving out the PAL Awards, for 2024, and going over our Nintendo year in review, and talking about games we're playing in news. We're doing all of that. And more. Greetings, fellow Nintendo Pals. My name is Andros, and I am one of the hosts of the Nintendo Pals Podcast, the show all about Nintendo and friendship, and all 300 freaking episodes of it. I have been joined by my fellow Nintendo pal, Micah.
Yep.
Well, mostly all 300. I guess it's a bit of an exaggeration. You have missed a couple episodes here or there, sick days, unpaid. But the regular days
always
are also unpaid. It's
days.
always been unpaid for both of us. But if you want to pay us, you can support us over on patreon.com/NintendoPals, where for as little as $1, you can support the show. But, you don't have to do that. You can also leave us a 5-star review on your podcast listening app of choice. That pays us in social credit. Social media credit. 5 stars. Wow. Like, look at how cool those guys are. Micah, did I ask you, how the heck are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
That's great. We've got a lot to talk about tonight. And I guess, first off, you been playing any games? Playing any games?
I haven't played too many recently, actually.
I have.
The holiday season, I didn't want to start Mario and Luigi Brothership because I knew I wouldn't be able to finish it before having to take a week off to visit with family. So most just led to me sitting around doing nothing for a week.
That was you're like, I can't play it, so I'm just not going to do anything now.
Exactly.
You just sat there staring at a blank.
At the blank switch.
At the blank switch screen, it's like shut off. I did my Nintendo year in review, and the game that I played that I wanted to talk about was recommended at the end of my Nintendo year in review. It's like, based on your play style, we think you would like these games. And this one was on sale, and I hadn't heard of it, looked it up, has good reviews, and it is called Hand of Fate 2.
Interesting.
The game follows. I think it's randomized. I mean, I haven't really. I did die one time, but like you get. It's all deck based, and the deck puts cards. What?
Guess what? The first sale and deal they have recommended for me.
Is it Hand of Fate 2? Hey, let's go. Yeah, so it's a game. Do you remember that like card game that had like the buff fisherman?
The card game that had the buff fisherman.
Yeah. No,
that is not ringing any sort of bells.
Where it was like cards on a table, and there was a narrator, and you'd like move. Everything was cards. Like you move, and it was like, oh, you have this character and this character, and then you did like a card battle. Wow. Okay, now I just feel dumb, and like I'm crazy.
We are gonna then mention a game that's like, yeah, Super Monkey Ball, Banana Rumble.
No, I wasn't. It's by Square.
Is it that I think I actually might know which one you're talking about. I
There
can't remember
were
what it was.
Voice of Cards. Voice of Cards. And there were a couple of them. There's three of them.
It's three of them.
Mm-hmm.
Had a
And
demo, right?
yeah, it
You
had a
can-
demo that was playable. It has that kind of gameplay for the map. Like it's card based, but then the fights are little arena fighters where you play a very simple action RPG style fight that all I can say is Souls like, meaning you roll around and there's swords and shields.
You got some iframes from rolling.
Yeah,
That's essentially what a Souls game is.
that is what a Souls.
Any game that lets you do that, Souls game.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Muggle Smooth in the chat here says the suits look great. I didn't even mention that. Hey, if you're not watching the video version of the podcast, you
Consider yourself blessed.
are missing out. You are missing out on some killer suits tonight. Our award show suits. Yeah, your lapel, is what it's called?
Yeah.
Lapel is uneven. It came that way though.
It didn't have time to iron it.
What size is that? I can't remember what size I got. I think I went with a large. Yeah. Does it fit okay? You now, as we've established in previous episodes, Micah now weighs less than I do.
Oh yeah, I think it's like the perfect width.
Okay. Yeah, I was like, even though he weighs less than me, I'm fairly certain he is still broader shouldered than I am. That's not something that goes away with weight loss. Your shoulders, like,
Yeah. Although I did find out I'm not as big boned as I thought I was.
yeah. Well, well, because I'm wearing a medium and it fits me perfectly. So I was like, oh man, hopefully that suit fits him. It's not too
Yeah,
not
I
too
feel
big.
like it's kind of big, not in the shoulders area.
But if
feel
I
like the
gotten
shoulder
it
width is
smaller, then
pretty
the
good.
shoulders wouldn't fit. This is the problem. The age-old problem with suits is they fit, unless they're like custom made, they fit so
They only
weird.
fit part of your body.
Yes. Anywho, Hand of Fate 2, you have a guy that is basically managing the game, and he's talking to you, and he's like, I'm preparing you for something. I'm like, okay. He's like, how did you come to find me? He's like, your memories are gone, but they will reappear through this game. And then like the cards come out, and I've played through the tutorial, and then a little bit. The tutorial's basically like the first level is kind of establishing like, hey, these are the things that can happen. And then once you get out of that, you can split into 3 different spots on the game map, and then each of those spots you pick out of the deck or out of your available cards what encounters will be in the scenario, and they'll be randomly placed. What equipment will be available in the scenario, and what like characters, and I'm assuming that there's going to be a lot more unlockables. And Nintendo was right. I do like it. It's fun. I like it. Hand of Fate 2. And I think it's perfectly priced at its sale price. So, at least from what I've played so far. And there's a lot more to it. So, it's give me something to do while traveling for the holidays. Besides finish Echoes of Wisdom. With that, I guess this is kind of a good segue. Maybe we should talk about our year in review. You want to go first, Micah?
I wasn't sure if I was supposed to hit a bumper before that.
Oh, yeah. Pick one. Let's throw a bumper on it. It's Nintendo Year in Review! Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. That was kind of short.
Well,
It seemed like it was
Yeah,
gonna
well,
do something there.
it's feeding the ducks. I'm pretty sure it's just like a full song. I didn't know when to cut it off.
Oh, there's no sound effect ones.
I don't think so.
I swear
I
there are
think
like short
all
ones.
the I think all the ones they supply are long.
Pick a different one. That one was too. Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. Are you gonna pull up your review? Are you gonna cut it off? This gives you opportunity to pull it up while it's playing.
I thought I was gonna build something. That's true. I have not set this up yet.
Now we know all those podcasts that have long bumpers are just setting things up frantically behind the scenes.
I feel like that's the same thing, just looped 100 times.
Yeah.
That could have just been a sound effect. Yes, here's my year in review.
It's Micah's year in review. You kicked off 2024 with Super Mario RPG. That was your first game this year?
Yeah, January 1st is when I played it.
Well, I guess it came out last year, huh?
Maybe. Yes.
Well, it had to have come out in 2023. It didn't come out the
Unless
first.
it came out January 1st and I played it day one.
No,
It's
because
technically
you know
possible.
what? You know what? You were playing January 1st?
Super Mario RPG.
Well, I maybe not, but I assumed that it was Clubhouse 51 Games with me because that was my first game of the year.
Oh, really? Oh, interesting. Well, I guess I probably played it on your Switch.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
And then you went and played
That's
this?
true.
Were we hanging out on January 1st of last year? I feel like we were.
I guess usually not then?
Usually
I don't
we
know.
do. Jury's out on that one. We don't remember.
Mm-hmm. I played 20 games for 320 hours.
Nice.
About an hour a day. It's respectable, I think.
I think so.
This surprised me though. My second most played game, Game Boy Advance.
What were you playing on there?
Golden Sun.
Oh, yeah, that makes
Sure
sense.
I can't remember what other game I played.
Velotro's up there.
Hours, I think I must have played something else as well. Yeah, of course, Splatoon, because I do that just about every week.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess these just go more in depth.
Splatoon 3.
I wish it showed what games. Wow, I get. Whoa, that's cool.
And Velatro.
I'm pretty sure those 47 hours were like almost entirely in May.
Well, we're about to find out because it gives you my month breakdown. Your gaming style is action and shooting.
I guess so.
And playing cards. I like how that's its own. It's
solely Velatro for that. Although I did play some Monster Train on my PC, which is also cards.
But that wouldn't be tracked by Nintendo Switch Online, as far as I know.
Yeah, they're just not telling us.
They're watching it. Yeah, Nintendo knows. You played most in January.
Probably because of Super Mario RPG. Oh yeah, it's a pretty considerable jump. Yeah, 62 hours then, the next highest in July and August at 42 and 41.
Your time is very inconsistent.
Yeah, I tend to get hooked on a game and then play quite a bit, and then
I've
usually
already
have
forgotten,
a little bit of a lull.
I've already forgotten what my stats look like, so maybe I'm the same, but I don't think so.
Oh, actually, I played Game Boy Advance most.
That's still Golden Sun, isn't it?
Yeah, must have been in January. I'm sure that'd be a Mario RPG. Hey, look at that.
No,
still
because
Golden Sun.
I am betting that the Mario RPG you finished like very early January and you played it mostly in December.
It's probably true.
Is my guess. Well, yeah, no, I know that's what happened because you got Mario RPG from me.
Yeah, but when
from
did I get it from you?
from winning the escape box.
Was that not in December though?
That had to be in December.
But I mean, I feel like I probably wouldn't have played it much then in December until I got back home.
I don't remember. I'm not gonna try that hard to
Let's
remember because it doesn't
see.
matter that much. Okay, so January,
Oh, I thought it was.
February were dominated by the same thing. 26 hours. Now we're getting to the Splatoon. 13 hours for Splatoon. Not crazy.
Not too much.
Balatro,
No.
only 11 hours in April.
Yeah, I think but Watro might be my next month's game as well then. Yeah, that's more like it. 28.
38. Oh, wait, it's 38 total. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
and then May. That's funny. Okay. All right.
Back to the classic Splatoon. Apparently for 8 hours, didn't do much that month. Oh yeah, the demo. The 1 week demo they had where I played 33 hours
Did you beat the game?
to beat the game.
Let's go.
I essentially 100% of the game, actually.
That is awesome. In 33 hours. That's pretty short. You were
It's
speed running,
pretty decent.
essentially.
Yeah,
You were going fast.
I was running out of time
That is
by
awesome.
the end. Oh yeah, good old Nintendo World Championship NES edition.
Yeah. I'm just gonna preface here before we get to mine. You're gonna be disappointed in some of my numbers, and
I'm gonna be looking to make sure Spelunky 2's not on there.
and I'm going to come right out the gate and say it that 2 of my most played games this year were not even me. It's my children. I straight up, and you're
Don't
gonna see
worry.
why. You're gonna see why.
I believe you.
Gonna see why. I was like, what? I didn't even play this game once this year. Oh, it turns out I actually played like 70 hours.
Spelunky 2, huh?
Nope, it is not Spelunky 2. Enter the Gungeon. Hey.
I got
Making
back
a
into just a little
resurgent.
bit. I can't remember what I had to do. Oh, I think I did the boss rush, which I apparently hadn't done before. Huh, look at that.
And back
Right
for
as well,
October.
but only 6 hours again, so kind of
You
dead.
just
those
weren't
months.
doing. You had a lot of hours in October. It looks like it's just like you can see games played. It looks like you're spreading
Yeah, I played
the
7.
hours pretty evenly among your games.
Only
Echoes of
9
Wisdom.
hours. That feels short.
Yeah, well, it would be. I think it'd be more in December.
Probably.
You got it as a gift at like Thanksgiving, right?
It's true. I did play a decent amount before Thanksgiving, but I definitely put some time into it in December.
Yeah, which we don't have those stats. All right.
The
Here comes the big choice. What'd you pick for your favorite? Did you pick a
Wow.
favorite?
I definitely picked.
Oh, I guess this is all the games you played this year.
Can't be all of them. Is this really all I played? Okay, definitely clicked on one.
Wait, no, you got to pick one.
Absolutely not.
Why? Nintendo needs the stats. They need to know.
They'll never know.
Wait. Go back up. You breezed past the end too quickly.
Oh, they're just seeing how much money I had. Oh, I guess that's the most played game of 2024. But I mean, we already knew that. And the most month.
What's your pick for game of the year? Out of what you played. This is a very clear distinction here because these aren't ones that even came out this year necessarily. You got like Smash Bros and Breath of the Wild.
A game of the year.
You played a lot of top contenders for game of the year.
I played a lot of good games this year.
I think Balatro, Echoes of Wisdom. Oh, but you're gonna go with Golden Sun.
Golden Sun.
Okay.
It was just a very nostalgic time.
Okay, and then I am curious to see what Nintendo recommends for you for games. Based off what you like,
Let's see.
you'd like these games. Did it open in
Definitely,
a different tab? Because I can't see it.
it did. Oh, you'll never know.
What?
They actually changed since the last time I looked.
Oh. They're like, quick, more advertising. Get him.
Yeah, I got a
Get him.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Master Duel, Skull the Hero Slayer, Pokemon Cafe Remix, Brawlhalla, and a part-time UFO.
Okay, hold on here. Let me pull up my year in review. Part-time UFO. Don't you have that game?
I've never even heard of that game.
It's the like Kirby one where it's not Kirby, but it's by the Kirby devs, and it's a little puzzle solving game where you drop things and you have to stack them. Pretty simple.
Confident. I've never played this game.
Who was I talking to that played it? Share screen. Boom. Can you see it?
Yes.
There we go. How do I full screen?
That's a good question.
F5?
Was mine just automatically
F5.
full screen? I just shared a tab. Looks like you're sharing a window.
Yeah. That's so when I click to look at the games, see it. Let's try F7. Nope. One of these is full screen, I know.
Tried F4.
I did try that. Hold on. We are so I don't it doesn't matter that much. Let's go. What was my year in review? Andros, welcome to your 2024 year in review from Nintendo. You kicked off 2024 with Clubhouse 51 Games Worldwide Classics.
After you told us that it would be this.
Want to see this?
Wow, look at all those games.
When you were scrolling through and you're like, oh, that's it. I was like, mine is much longer than that. I have so many games and a lot of like $1 eShop games that are.
Oh, that cow game was awesome.
The cow game was awesome. All right, you ready to see? So, I feel like I have to give a lot of prefaces here. My most played game by far in 2024 is The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. However, that is never on my personal account. I don't play it on the personal account. I play it on my Australia account that I originally got the game on.
So you really played like 800 hours.
Yes, probably. I don't know though, because I don't know how to check that without having an NSO. And I don't have an NSO for that account because it was just to buy Tears of the Kingdom early. And I also played on PC for Tears of the Kingdom. So, here are my most played games in 2024.
Huh.
And would you believe that I don't think I played Kirby in the Forgotten Land once this year, or Animal Crossing once?
I don't believe it because right there it says that you did play them.
Well, you know who did? My daughter. My daughter loved Kirby in the Forgotten Land and played a lot of this game. And she did not have her own account. It does not have her own NSO account. So she plays on mine because she needs an account to play on. But this is all me. Vampire Survivors. Listen. That's all me. And I think I had like 60 hours in it last year. Actually, let me check on my Switch real quick to see my total time on that one. Oh, it's not in my recent plays. I play too many games, Micah. But if I open it up, it should pop into the recents, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's my most played games. My gaming style is action, adventure, party,
Character driven.
character driven, role playing, board game. Oh, because of Gloomhaven.
Huh.
Your most played was in June at
I think
80
that was like my
hours.
least played month too.
Look at these. Look at these stats. It's kind of opposite of you, actually. Now that we're looking
Yeah.
at it, yours was really heavy at the
I had a
beginning and
bunch
end of
in
the
like
year.
August and either September or July. I
Are
can't remember.
we seasonally game at different times apparently? But also got to remember that apparently my daughter has like 60 hours in Kirby alone, and then Animal Crossing. I think was a combination of all of my kids playing Animal Crossing. They wanted to play on my account because from my days of turnip trading, I have a lot of money. So they're basically Nepo babies. They're Animal Crossing Nepo babies that have lots of bells if they play with my character. All right. Oh, yeah. That didn't change the size at all. I was trying to make it bigger. Oh, let me full screen this here. Okay. January, most played game, Fortnite. It was my wife. She played Fortnite on my account. You want to know why? Because she didn't have the update on her Switch. And so she played on my account rather than download the update. I mean, the update does take like 3 days to download. So that's fair. This is another one. Like Piku Niku? What? I didn't play that this year at all.
Hmm.
Uh I just feel like my stats are all messed up because I have
Just,
4
you just
switches
sound like you're in denial.
with my account on all 4 switches, and my account is also the one that bought all the games. And because Nintendo doesn't let you play games that were not purchased under your account that are digital purchases, you have to play with the one that bought it. So everybody ends up playing on my account. Like 20 hours of Piku Niku. This game, I'm fairly certain, is like 4 hours long. Just want to point that out here. That's 28 hours in 2 months. This is me, though. This is all me. I listen when it comes up, and I know it's me. This is me. 75 hours, and that's because I played Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. 40. That was 40 hours I put into that game. That's a lot.
Yeah, that's a good
I
amount.
don't think that game's that long, but I did kind of like do a lot in it. June's when Animal Crossing came up. Not sure why this is at 37 hours.
37, huh?
Yep. Like I said, I don't think I logged into Animal Crossing once this entire year. I, I have no idea what's going on that island, but someone's playing as me on there. Identity theft. Kirby in the Forgotten Land again.
Wait. I feel like this whole time is you just saying, "Hey, this isn't me."
Hey, this isn't me. Hey, this isn't me. Hey, this isn't me. Hey, this isn't me. That's me. Hey, this isn't me. Hey, this isn't me. Okay, that's me. Nobody else in my family played this game. I love this game. Nintendo World Championships
That's a
NES
good one.
edition. Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. This all seems
Only
low. This seems low.
12 hours. I apparently put 25 into it.
25 hours into Mario Party Jamboree. Just a lot of hours for a Mario Party game. Point that out. I played a lot of Mario Party in October, and then DLC dropped for Vampire Survivors in November.
So 22 hours.
There are a lot of unlockable characters in the Castlevania DLC, and I was having a good time getting them all. My total time into Vampire Survivors says 85 hours. and 55 of that was spread over this year. So that DLC is working overtime. All right, here comes the big choice, which I already picked. My game of the year is Super Mario Party Jamboree.
It's even better than Paper Mario.
Yeah, well, you know how I feel about putting a remake as my favorite game of the year. If I didn't have any reservations on that, then yeah, that's probably top game of the year. But this is top like new game of the year. Cuz it really wasn't
You,
like too different from the GameCube version from what I have seen. It wasn't like too
but I mean, like,
drastically different.
this isn't like game of that came out this year. This is game that you played this year.
I'm going to stand by my choice. I'm going to hold convictions. Why? No
I
reason at
actually
all.
almost chose Super Mario RPG as my game of the year.
And
Oh,
then
look at all
top.
those platinum points. Wow.
Oh yeah, you have way more than me. I need to get more of these. I've been spending them a lot on the icons.
Oh yeah, I don't think I got all the Christmas icons yet.
Okay,
I
here are the
started, but it was taking so long.
top picks of games for me, which I think I like this. I like that it shows you games, and we'll see if it's the same ones. It is the same ones. Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon plus DLC was the first one last time. And they replaced Hand of Fate 2 with Part-Time UFO. Brawlhalla was not on my list last time. Neither was Loop Hero, but XCOM 2 was.
Oh yeah, XCOM 2 up the
XCOM
first
2.
time.
Yeah.
And that is a good one.
I should heart these because they're probably all ones I would like. I don't think I would like Brawlhalla. I've found that most of the Smash clones that I've played, I've not been super into. Smash Bros is just unique to me and cannot be replicated. It either when it's just be replicated, it either leans too much into the fighting game mechanics, and I just don't. I'm not into fighting games like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. It like leans more to the competitive side, or it's just chaos, and I'm like, Smash Bros balances a tight wire between those.
Yeah.
Have you played Shovel Knight Pocket Dungeon?
I think I have a little bit. Yeah, that seems kind of familiar. I want to say they have it on like if you have Netflix gaming, you can play it or something like that.
I'll keep an eye on it on my list here. That's what I've got. That was my year in review. Hey Micah. Now that we're done with the
Seems like it was mostly your children's year in review.
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is my son has his own NSO account for the first time this year. And we went over that. I'll go over it with you in the Pals Plus. How's that? I'll show you the stats because it's pretty awesome. He has over 1,000 hours logged this year. And he played a huge variety of games. That kid is a gamer. He played a lot, and it wasn't like it was heavily like, oh, this one game for the entire year. Unlike my wife, because her year in review, 11 months out of the year, Minecraft was the number one game for the month by a wide margin. I think there was one month. I don't even remember what the other game was. What was is Muggles Moo in the chat still? Maybe. No, she's not. She could defend herself. I thought it was really funny. I was like, oh, this one game saved you from having an entire month of, or an entire year.
A year
was like the only game you played all year. But it's fun, and because we had so much fun with it and the stats, we're actually going to set up my daughter with an account as well, so she can have her own account and statistics, and we can see it. I mean, it's not any extra costs. We're on the family plan anyway, so just throw it on the family plan. Micah, that was all fine and dandy and fun, and all that,
All those things.
all of those things. But would you be willing to jump to another year in review?
Yeah.
It's time for get a bumper ready of some kind. We're going to go through our 2024 Nintendo Pals podcast Spotify Wrapped.
Metroid Dread es ludus frustrans e laboriosus.
That's not a bumper.
Mundus eius obscurus e inextricabilis.
I do appreciate it, though.
My bad. Here we go.
Oh, yeah. Sharing my screen. Oh, boom. It's
Wow, look at that, so fancy.
Nintendo Pals Wrapped. Yeah, fair warning, Spotify's Wrapped is so trippy looking. Fans were really loving your show in 2024. We took this.
I think it says that the exact same way every time.
We took this year to a whole new level. We gained 25%, plus 25% to our followers on Spotify. This is just on Spotify. Okay. What does that mean?
They got so much going on.
I don't know what that means. But give it up for those new fans. 67% of our listeners discovered you this year. That's the majority. That's the majority.
Suspiciously close to exactly 2/3.
Your fans have a clear favorite. Your top episode was this title. Top 10 plot twists in Nintendo games. / Nintendo sales are going crazy. Zelda statues revealed and ... Like
more?
And look at this thumbnail. Sheik is Zelda? It's like, okay, all right. It was streamed 654% more than your average episode. Okay, I just want to throw out here. Stats suck. What is... We had a 25% increase to all of our margins. We had 654% increase on listening. What does that mean? What does that even mean? On what? 60% of what? Also, we need a reduce motion thing.
Oh yeah,
this. It is.
And Nintendo usually has one somewhere.
Yeah, they do. They do not. Ever wondered who your audience is? Have you ever wondered who listens to Nintendo Pals? Well, let's break it down. Listeners by age. 13% fall into the 18 to 24, 9% 25 to 29, 17% 30 to 34, 43% in the 35 to 44 age range, 16% in the 45 to 54, and 2% 55 plus. I sat here looking at this yesterday, and I was like, why is the 35 to 44 so much bigger than every other category, than every other section?
Practically how old you are.
Well, you know why it's so much higher? Is because it covers twice the span of every other year prior to it.
Oh yeah, true.
So yeah, if it was split down the middle, it'd probably be like 20% apiece.
Yeah, but 45 to 54 is also a big range and only has 16.
Yeah. And then 55 plus, we are not connecting with that would be Gen X, the Gen X kids. We're not connecting with them. The 2%, 55 plus. That's like my dad's age. Well, I guess that covers like a wide range of ages, but like that's like how old my dad is. Like exactly, he's like 55. So I think that 2% might be my dad and my
Just
mom.
your dad.
Yeah, might be those two listening. That's 2%. It's just our parents. Do your parents listen to the show?
No.
Neither do mine. So it's not them. I don't know where that 2% is coming from. You guys rock. Whoever you are out there listening. But I do love how presumptuous it is that, like, yeah, 55 plus, like, we give up on you at this point.
Yeah, you're all
like, what does
the
that
same.
mean? What does that mean? Yeah, a 55-year-old, vastly different listening base than a 65-year-old, I'd say. And vastly different than a 75-year-old. You know, you go up, it's like you can't just lump everybody together at a 55 plus. I feel like that's so crazy. But whatever. They're lumping in the 35 to 44 as well. We appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for listening. It's really fun to see. We have had pretty good growth in the younger demographic. This used to be way low. I think it was like 2% of our audience was the 18 to 24 range. We're connecting with the youth, Micah. Because we are the youth. We're so young.
It probably started when you said skibbity toilet.
I was like, skibbity Ohio Riz. That's not even that. That's not even that generation. That's like 12-year-old right now, not 18-year-old. But I do appreciate what of the listeners under 18. That's probably a huge percentage of listeners there that we just don't even know.
Yeah, do these all add up to 100%? Or if you're younger than 18, you're not supposed to have a Spotify account, and they just assume you are.
I'm gonna 18. Add this. I'm gonna add this all up. Okay, we got 13% plus 9% plus 17% plus 43% plus 16% plus 2%. That does add up to 100. So there isn't undocumented listeners. So that's good, I guess. Let's move on. Where in the world have you been? Your show traveled the globe in 2024. We were streamed in 27 countries. Wow. And the United States was your top country. Yeah, that checks out. Makes sense. We are located in the United States. And our fans have great taste. Oh, yeah. Are you ready to know what our fans listen to besides Nintendo Pals?
So ready.
Okay. Other than your show, they also loved the Joe Rogan Experience.
Huh. I mean, isn't that like kind of the number one podcast? So I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. I was sitting here going like, oh, it's presented by Call of Duty Black Ops 6. So Joe Rogan's like, maybe he's a gamer, and I didn't know. Did you know that? I don't listen to his show. I don't know.
I don't think he's a gamer.
Maybe it's a Nintendo podcast all along. He's been a Nintendo podcaster, and we didn't know.
I think that's even less likely.
Well, he was sponsored by Call of Duty Black Ops 6, so there's that. The Confessionals. Don't know much about that. Game Theory. That makes sense, right? Bedtime Story Superheroes. This kind of makes sense to me. Kind of Funny Games Daily. Also makes sense. Like these are like gaming and pop culture-y shows. And the music that our audience listens to, would you believe it, listens to a lot of video game music.
Guessed?
CCM. Do you know what that is?
Of course I know what that is.
Cool music.
pretty sure it's contemporary Christian music.
Oh yeah, let's go. Piano rock. I have never heard the term CCM before. Yeah, never.
Man, get with the times.
Yeah, I need to get with it. I need to.
You're gonna lose the 18 to 24 demographic.
Audiobook genres are sci-fi and fantasy, religion and spirituality, and history. Listeners can't keep their eyes off of us. Our show was in the top 10% of
Wow.
video podcasts on Spotify. That's right. That's right. Being in the beta has paid off. I think we've been boosted more in that sphere than other shows, but I don't know. Maybe not. Okay, here's our we are
We're at
the top
quadruple
10
top 10.
for 91 Spotify listeners. It's a pretty substantial amount of listeners. What is this? Like
24.
Oh, just did not register to me that that's what I was looking at there.
Wow.
And we were top 5 for 52 fans. And we were the number 1 show
It's gonna be for one fan.
for 9 people. And you people, you 9, are the real
What do you mean,
MVPs.
you people?
You people, you 9, you are part of the I once had a church leader say that there's like the 10 people that are there for everything. It's like you're that group of 10 that's there and is like the most supportive and awesome people there for everything. And it was called the STP Club, is what he called it, in the STP Club. It was like for volunteer work and for helping people in need, things like that. Which, by listening to the show, you help us are in need. We are in need of your listening. Yeah. So welcome. You guys are officially members of the. If Nintendo Pals was your number 1 show, you are officially a member of the Nintendo Pals STP Club. The same 10 people. And your top fans listen to you 3 times more than your other listeners. So that 91.
Which means they're obviously listening to every episode 3 times.
Oh yeah, that's what it means. What kind of creator are you? Are you ready for this? This is a new thing that a lot of Wrapped
Ooh, publishing
thingamajiggies are
frequency,
doing.
huh?
They give you an AI generated like title or like badge. What are we?
Wow.
The storyteller. What the heck does this mean?
That's pretty cool, I guess.
What does it mean? This doesn't make sense though, because our podcast, we don't even do that on our podcast. We're not telling stories. we talk about video games.
Video games
Sometimes.
have stories.
Yeah, the video games are the ones that tell the stories. We just talk about them. We're like reporters? What would you call us? Chatters?
Podcasters.
I don't think we're telling stories. But thanks, Spotify. Oh, I love this. Your fans have entered the conversation. You had 6 comments. Wow. That's like not even true, though, because I've been on and I've seen way more comments than that on Spotify. So don't know where that stat came from. You got
3 poll votes.
Do you not want to know what the most popular poll was? Who do you fight for?
Fight for? What?
The options were: I fight for my friends, I fight for my friends, and I fight for my friends. And would you look at that? Our podcast rating is a 4.9 on Spotify. Thank you, listeners, for leaving those 5-star reviews. They do help us out immensely, and they are just you guys are just so cool. You're so cool. And with that, we close our 2024 Nintendo Pals Wrapped.
I feel like they made that slideshow thing in like the 80s and then just never updated it.
It's very hard to look at.
Or maybe 90s.
It's very hard to look at. Kind of as bright and shiny as these suits. Anywho, let's move on. Micah, it's time for the Nintendo news. That bumper doesn't work anymore?
Kind of seems that way. Oh, there we go.
It's like I might have it.
Have to keep clicking a couple times.
I have it too. Okay. As we have established already, it was the Nintendo Switch Year in Review is available now. If you want to see your stats for the year, you can log in on mynintendo.com and you will be able to see your statistics and numbers. What's our next news item, Micah? Also, Micah, the camera, I think, is zoomed out. Zoom us
yeah,
in.
it never goes back to the
No, it
right
doesn't.
mode.
You can go get some water while you go. Then still listening.
Sure. That's what they all say. We got the Frosty Fest in Splatoon 3 is coming back, and it will be happening during January 10th through the 12th. And I guess it's essentially just like a Splatfest, but winter themed. So they're asking, what makes you the happiest? Money, experiences, or presents? No family, I notice.
They took that out this year. They're like, because that was last year. I specifically remember family. Oh, it was family, friends, or alone. I think it was like, who do you spend your holiday with? But now, forget that. Money is where it's at.
Heck yeah. Because if you have money, you can use money to make experiences or buy yourself presents.
Mm-hmm. And money's the clear winner there. Nice. In other news, exciting news, the Switch has passed the PS2 in sales in the United States. The Switch has officially outsold the PS2. 46.6 million units sold. Only puts it behind the Nintendo DS, and that's 46 million units sold this year.
I think that's just ever in the US, right?
No.
Because I mean, total sales are like
in the US, yeah.
110, 1 year or something.
I
haven't kept up.
That makes more sense. It's like 46 seems so low, but that's because it's just US. So there you have it.
That PlayStation.
Yeah, let's go. PlayStation announces a relaunch of the PS2.
That'd be so funny, actually.
It would be very funny, just to keep the record. Anything else to talk about in the news? Kind of a lighter news week as we come into the end of the year.
I think that's it.
IGN named their Nintendo game of the year was Echoes of Wisdom. So, that's cool. Well deserved. Nintendo won no awards at the Game Awards this year.
But they're going to sweep next year.
Well, yeah.
Metroid Prime, every category.
Yeah, well, and
all the categories.
And it's going to be the launch of a new system next year, so they're going to have a lot of games, I assume. In that.
I'm even expecting Metroid Prime to win most anticipated game. It'll already be out at that point, but
we anticipate it still. Yeah, it's gonna have a lot to compete with because GTA 6 comes next year.
I think so, or it might be delayed to like earlier 2026. I've heard, but that's kind of pretty rumored.
Then it could be Nintendo's year. Nintendo's time to shine. I think that's it for news then. So let's move out of the news. Nothing in the rumor mill. We have sent the rumor Pikmin on vacation. They're on holiday break early. Enjoy the time with your families, Pikmin. Let's move to last week we asked you. Last week we asked you. Here's the question in full. It's the Nintendo Pals 300th episode. Woohoo! What should we do to celebrate?
By last week, we mean yesterday is when we asked you.
Are you putting out this episode tonight?
Are you putting out this episode tonight?
No, I'm not.
Mm,
I'll schedule it. So,
right on.
got you, Micah. You can't. You can't
It
stop
still
me.
doesn't make this statement false.
It makes it true. It makes it true. And here are your fantastic, air quotes, fantastic
Yeah.
suggestions.
Spoiler alert, we're doing none of these.
Not a lawyer said individually rank every episode and tier list them. Listen to every episode, all 300 episodes of this show, ranging from, we had episodes that were like down to like 20-minute length for a season, but some of them range upwards of like 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah, it's like 600 hours of
It's
stuff.
that's chaos. Did you pull out a calculator to double 300?
No, I actually clipped a hangnail.
Oh, okay. I thought you it looked like you pulled something to the side and you're like, yeah, that's about 600 hours of content. And I was like,
I didn't get it very good, so
did you
clip
just
it again?
go, it's a 2-hour podcast. There are 300 episodes. Like, I have to do
That's
the math.
like 600.000 repeating, of course. Hours.
Yeah, no thanks. No thanks to that. Flightsy gives our next response here. You can read that one out, Mike.
Yeah, they say commission a piece of art to represent each episode.
I know that we have had a Patreon for a while now, but that Patreon has not made enough money to commission 300 art pieces.
Like $1 million.
That's not cheap. I won't point out. Unless he means commission one piece of art that represents all 300. Commission a piece of art to represent each episode.
I mean, you could read it that way.
We could read it that way. So that must be it. And well, we didn't do that. So either way, we failed. Sorry, Flightsy. Next up, Monkey Thunder says, "Give me $1 for each episode that you have done." Now that could
So,
potentially be paid with the Patreon. But probably not going to do that because I think it sets a bad precedent to pay one person $300 for celebrating 300
Yeah.
episodes.
If only we had enough money to pay everyone $300.
Every listener, you get $1 for every episode you listen to. That is a horrible idea. No. Nope.
Just have it on loop. Double speed.
What do you think we are? Raid Shadow Legends? You can't just throw money for people to look at our podcast. But maybe that's what we've been doing wrong this whole time. Maybe Monkey Thunder's onto something.
Yeah, well, don't worry. Monkey Thunder says they won't tell anyone.
Oh, good. I know you want to give me $300. we so badly want to give you $300 and everyone else too. If I had $300 to give to everyone, I for sure would.
Well, you could take out a loan. They need a $300 to give out to everyone.
Yeah. What's our estimated audience size though? That's a lot of money. that's a lot of money. I just want to point out that's and taking out a loan is goes against exactly what against what I was saying. I don't have that $300
But
to
you
give.
could have that.
The bank
$300.
does. The banks do. Um. Well, and here's the slippery slope we get on here because the next suggestion is from Joe Crow, and it is, give me $2 for each episode that you have done. Joe Crow saw he's like, hey, double it and pass it to the next person, which is me.
Yeah, that is twice as unlikely to happen.
What else we got here? What other suggestions?
Well, then Flightsy once again gives a great suggestion. For each episode you've done, create an episode reviewing it. Which that's just never ending. Do we have to review episodes?
Oh no, it's a loop. You get stuck in a loop of reviewing episodes. Have you heard of the Talk Tua podcast?
Nope.
Have you heard of the Hawk Tua girl?
Yes.
She has a podcast.
You said Hawk Tua?
No. The podcast is called Talk Tua.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Clever name for a podcast. If I'm being honest, like, hey, that's funny. Your 1 minute of fame that you got, you turned into a show. But what's even better is that the Talk to a podcast has an entire other podcast that just critically reviews their podcast. And it's like two guys with wine glasses that are like, so you see the way that they're leaning here, and they're giving it's very much satire, but they're giving a very analytical and like serious take on like minute details in the podcast, and I think that is a very funny concept, and we should do that for our show at some point. We'll just be like, oh yeah, in this episode, this would be a funny Patreon series. We just go and listen to our episodes and then review them. You'd struggle with that, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
I still have not listened to a single episode we've done.
Whereas I listen to our show regularly. Not so much anymore. I haven't had as much time. But I was here, so I also lived the show. By streaming and YouTubing, I am way more comfortable watching recordings of myself than I was prior. I hated it. And now I'm like, yeah, I enjoy it. I'm a pretty entertaining guy, I think. And humble, too.
You make yourself
so
laugh. That's all that really matters.
That's true. It's true. So to these responses, I sent the Anakin Skywalker gif that says, "What have I done?" And Flightsy responded, "Around 300 episodes is what you've done."
It's pretty good.
I just can't. I couldn't win in this this Discord exchange. There was no winning.
Well, not for you.
Not for me.
Other people won, I think.
You guys win. You guys win. You broke me, and I love it. I thought this was hilarious. I thought this whole thing was really funny, and this is why I love our community. Bunch of funny guys. Fedorable Will has an actual suggestion that I think is great. You want to read that one off, Micah? I guess I read the last one.
It's so dry, though.
Me too. I'm so thirsty.
Fortunately, my water's very far away. Fedorable Will says, Do the ultimate collab where you get as many of the past guests you've had in one ultimate episode and have them take over the podcast while you and Micah do the nonsense the rest of us come up with in the background, such as making a sculpture with 300 marshmallows.
I actually really like this idea. I went out and purchased marshmallows. Well, Muggles Moo went out and purchased marshmallows for me. But for the sake of time, I think we're gonna have to skip on that one for this time. However, we are going to revisit this idea. I have this on our idea board. I love the idea of an ultimate everybody that we've ever had on the show coming back to help us celebrate. And so this may be an early next year project that we take on. It's tough to get those kind of big collaborations together just because scheduling. But I'm confident we can do it. Also, just so people don't feel like we're ignoring them in the live chat here, welcome into Monkey Thunder, Muggles in the chat, and we've got JT Wusky Fan. Welcome in. Thanks for being here for the live show. We don't do these live shows as often anymore, but because it's the 300th episode, I thought it would be fun. And JT Wusky says, happy 300th episode. Thank you. Thanks for being here. 300 episodes. It's a lot. And Micah, with that, I think it's time to move on to the PAL topic. Today's PAL topic, it's the PAL Awards 2024, our yearly game show. Our yearly award show, which typically has its own dedicated episode, but this year we're doing things a little different. This year, the awards and nominees are presented by you, the listeners, and we are picking the award winners. And what we have, I think, 10 categories submitted, and there's some interesting ones. I thought we'd get some goofier ones based off of the last week we asked you, but these are actually good suggestions. So, hey, I'm not gonna complain.
Hey, don't sound so surprised.
We will end it off with the game of the year category, which is the big one. So, Micah, let's go. First up, we have the category by Maddie Beth. Best game with a female protagonist. And the nominees are Princess Peach Showtime, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, Lego Horizon Adventures, and Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered. And it's up to you and me to
exactly
decide.
One of these. So,
and that exactly one of those is the winner. I think you and I are in agreement that the winner for best game with a female protagonist for 2024 is The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Yes.
Yep.
I think that this is the debut game where Zelda is the playable character, and it was so well done. It's such a fun game and makes me excited for potential future games that do a similar formula. Princess Peach Showtime was really good too, but I don't feel like it appealed to as wide of an audience. That was much more targeted to a younger demographic. My kids loved it. They did like that game. All right. Give us our next category.
The just to satisfy my own curiosity category.
No, that's That's not a category. That was just more games with female protagonists from this year.
Oh, was that?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So honorable mentions for that category can go to Life is Strange Double Exposure, Neva, Hellblade 2, Crow Country, Stellar Blade, Dustborn, 1000 X Resist, Star Wars Outlaws, Indica, Bloomtown, Chia, and Pepper Grinder. Which not all of those were on Switch exclusive.
Yeah. I don't think I played any of those. I can't remember. Did Pepper Grinder have a little demo?
Mm-hmm.
I
That
think
was the
maybe I
one with
played
like
that
the
then.
little like drill, if I recall correctly.
Yeah.
So yeah. Our next category, I think, is actually the one from Spider Shan.
Especially best RPG. Number 1, Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D. 2, Unicorn Overlord. 3, Mario and Luigi Brothership. 4, Fantasian Neo Dimension, which is up for Game of the Year, I believe, wasn't it? So
Yeah, and I'd never heard of it before.
Yeah, I haven't bothered to look it up yet.
Oh,
YSX Nordics.
Should we be judging this? Yes, this is what we decided. So yeah, we're
And
doing it.
Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. I've also played exactly one of these.
My personal is 6, but I don't necessarily think that that's the winner for best RPG.
I mean, currently number 6, Paper Mario, is the only one I've played out of this list.
Yeah, but like objectively, would you say that's the best RPG on this list?
I mean, how would I know objectively?
Well, I don't know. I kind of lean towards giving it to a game. I lean towards giving it to a newer game, but Dragon Quest III HD 2D is a remake of sorts. And so is Unicorn Overlord. So,
I just watched the trailer for the Fantasian Neo Dimension game.
I want to give it to Dragon Quest, personally. I feel like that's like the most in traditional sense of what an RPG is. RPG. That is new this year, and
the Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D.
Yeah,
the remake.
Yep. It's a remake that's pretty ground up remake, unlike Paper Mario, which I feel like is much more port.
Excuse me? Have you seen the lighting effects?
True.
We actually, now thinking, we should have had a remake category because there were a lot of good remakes.
There were a lot of great remakes this year.
Well, I don't feel too strongly either way because I haven't actually played many of them to compare. So, and I have heard good things about Dragon Quest 3 HD 2D.
Yeah.
Well, it is kind of a mouthful.
Yeah, but maybe we should just give it to Fantasian. The one neither of us know anything about.
It was in the Game of the Year conversation.
Oh, no, I remember this game. No, I don't want to give it to this
one. Why not?
It was up in the Game of the Year conversation, but it just looks it just is so generic looking to me, but it probably is really good. Yeah, this is the one where you could like curve your weapon attacks to like hit multiple enemies.
Oh yeah. That's pretty cool sounding. This trailer didn't show that at all.
I think we got to give it to Dragon Quest, the classic, the RPG. I mean, it's the grandfather of RPGs. It's the one when a new game comes out, all of Japan takes the day off. They didn't do that for Paper Mario, but we should.
That's right.
Every Nintendo first party release should be a national holiday. You good with that? Dragon Quest 3?
Suppose.
Great. We'll take that as a win for Dragon Quest 3. And then next up, our next category is from Fedorable Will. And his category is Best Way to Help Nintendo Pals Take Over the World of Nintendo Podcasts. Here are the nominees. 1, follow on your favorite podcast app. 2, leave a 5-star review. 3, leave a comment on YouTube or Spotify. 4, subscribe to Andros1 on YouTube and Twitch. 5, use your free Twitch Prime subscription on the Nintendo Pals Twitch channel. Or 6, subscribe to the Nintendo Pals Patreon. Who do you want to give this one to? Are you putting a vote down?
Trying to figure out if there's like an all of the above option in
No, there's not.
reaction form.
But out of all of these choices, out of all of these choices, like, all of these are awesome. But I think 1 has always been the right answer to how to take over the world, because it is what I say every time I say it's time to take over the world. And that is leaving us a 5-star review. I think the best way to help Nintendo Pals take over the world of Nintendo Podcasts
1.
award is number 2. Number 2.
Okay, number 2. I thought you said number 1.
2, leave a 5-star review. Why? Why does that beat all these other options? Well, it is potentially the lowest effort with the highest return. It lets more and more people discover our show. It's free to do. And I feel like the other ones, I don't really like asking people for money. I don't really like doing that. So I don't want that to win the award. Yeah, if you could just pay our Patreon more.
Yeah, actually, we'll just add in a different one. Send us $1 million.
That is the best way to support. Send us $1 million. Thank you so much for helping us to take over the world of Nintendo podcasts. And Fedora Will, thank you so much. This is my favorite category of the year. By far. Better than Game of the Year. Moving on to the next one. Next category.
Given to us by Presto.
All right.
Best Colorful Adventure. We got Paper Mario, The Thousand-Year Door, The Plucky Squire, Echoes of Wisdom, Pepper Grinder, Mario and Luigi Brothership, and Penny's Big Breakaway.
It's a tough one. There's a lot of... all of these games are very bright and colorful. What are you feeling? What are you feeling here?
Well, I played 2 of these games.
Not based off what you've been playing, because this is solely based off of Colorful Adventure.
Yeah, Colorful Adventure. But
you can make that distinction based off the trailer, I think.
I feel like to fully experience it, though, you have to see the color throughout the game.
Sure.
So what I'm saying is I don't know.
Well, I'm kind of feeling Plucky Squire for this one.
It does seem pretty
It is
colorful.
pretty colorful, very artsy, and very bright. I think when your main character's outfit is like neon pink, I think that's a good indicator. It's going to be a bright and colorful game. Although Penny's Big Breakaway it kind of hurts to look at it, so bright and colorful. But I think that kind of docks at points in my eyes. It's not It's too much.
Too bright and colorful.
Yeah, it's too bright and colorful. Yeah, I kind of want to toss this one to Plucky Squire. Although,
Yeah, just rewatch the trailer. Seems like a good choice to me.
okay, hold on just a second here. Yo, you're live on the podcast. What's up?
Hey, sorry, Mr. Caller earlier.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're recording our 300th episode of Nintendo Pals Podcast. Is there anything you'd like to...
Happy 300th episode.
Hey!
Podcast.
Is there anything you would like to say to the audience while we record?
How much of your lives have you spent listening to this?
Don't make them question things like
think
that.
about that. Why are you saying that like that? That's
I thought it'd be dramatic.
well, with episodes being roughly 2 hours piece, that's like roughly 600 hours if you listen to every episode.
I'm going to assume. I'm going to assume no one has listened to every episode. Surely there's got to be
Okay,
one.
I'll let you get back to your podcast.
All right. This is and for everybody listening, this is a longtime friend of the show on the very first episode. Right? Were you on the first episode?
Was that?
You were on an early
I don't think I
episode.
was in the first.
Second
I was
episode.
in the first episode.
No, you were in the first like 2, and then you were gone. This is my brother Max, and we are recording this on his birthday. So everybody in the audience say happy birthday to Max. Happy birthday!
Oh, they all did it.
All right. Well, I'll call you back later. All right. Peace. Happy birthday from Monkey Thunder. Hey. I hung up on him already. Sorry, Monkey Thunder. But that's... How much have you spent listening to this? That's the one thing he wanted to say. All right. So best colorful adventure goes to the Plucky Squire. Congrats, Plucky Squire. Next up, your turn to read the category. Or is it my turn to read the category?
I believe it is your turn. to read the
Okay, well,
category.
why didn't you just say that? You just look at me like...
Well, I had to think about it, and I had to look at things again.
Okay, the most anticipated Nintendo game.
Ooh,
We know who
which
the
could
winner
it
is.
be?
Okay, we know who the winner is, but let's list out the nominees. The nominees are Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, Pokemon Legends Z-A, Professor Layton and the New World of Steam, and the final nominee and the winner of most anticipated Nintendo game for 2024 is Metroid Prime 4 Beyond. And I can confidently say that on this list, that's probably the one I'm looking forward to the most. Although I am very much looking forward to
Only-
Pokemon Legends.
Probably.
No, I said I can confidently say that Metroid Prime
That
4
Is probably
is
the
probably the
one
one that I'm
I'm
looking forward to the most. Yeah. I confidently said it, though.
forward to. You're very confident that it's.
I'm
probable.
confident that it's probably. No, I'm definite. That's the one I'm looking forward to most on this list.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. You could have had Breath of the Wild 3 on this list. I'd still choose.
No.
Metroid Prime 4.
This is games that have been announced. It's like
Yeah.
that's why we have Donkey Kong Country Returns HD on here, which neither of us is looking forward to. Get out of here, Donkey Kong. I am looking forward to the roller coaster opening.
Yeah, true.
Hey. Okay. Next up.
Next up, we got our best mobile game.
Nintendo's mobile games have been have been down. Wait, you got cut off there.
Oh, is as suggested by Presto.
Yeah, they haven't put out as many mobile games. A lot of them got shut down and have been done. But what do we got? Who are our nominees?
Nominees are TCG Pocket, TCG Pocket, TCG Pocket, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete, and TCG Pocket.
Okay.
And Joe Crow adds on to that TCG Pocket.
Oh, yeah. True. Option 6, TCG Pocket. Maddie Beth does point out, where's Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, or Zenless Zone Zero? And the answer is, those are Nintendo games, Maddie Beth. What are you doing? This is the Nintendo PAL Awards. The PAL Awards 2024. Do you think either of us played Genshin Impact?
I mean, I've already admitted to only playing like 2 games on like each of these lists so far, so
I've only played 1 game on this list. Micah, I think we know who the winner is for this year. Let's say it together for best mobile game in 3, 2, 1. Animal Crossing Pocket Camp Complete.
Absolutely.
Is the winner for 2024 best mobile game. Congratulations to all the nominees. But yeah, Animal Crossing Complete wins it for this year. Move on to 2024's great games that didn't get the attention they deserved award. I like this as a category. This is great. The answers are, or not the answers. you can pick one choice on this test. The nominees are 1, Splatoon 3 Side Order. 2, Shadow of the Ninja Reborn. 3, Fantasian Neo Dimension. I would say that's true for that one. 4, Yes. Is that how you pronounce those? Yes.
I said YS.
YS earlier. Yes X. Nordics. And 5, Pepper Grinder.
So how many of these have you played?
Well, none. These didn't get the attention they deserved. And you know what? I think I lean here heavily towards Splatoon 3. Because I feel like from the gameplay I have seen of it, I mean, it's right up our alley. It is.
Yeah.
It is a roguelike Splatoon game. And yeah, it like was so hyped up, but then it took so long to come out. It got delayed, right? It got delayed. And then when it came out, it came out to like not a lot of press or fanfare. And even though it's like really, really good, it sort of died on arrival as far as like attention goes. And I think that sucks because in all honesty, this is where I would like Splatoon 3 to go or Splatoon as a series to go more than.
Yeah. Have that mode in 4 when it releases.
Exactly. So Splatoon 3 Side Order is my pick. How are you feeling?
I think I agree.
All right.
I was either between that or a Pepper Grinder, which are the only 2 I've actually seen like gameplay of.
Yeah. Well, and then Fantasian Neo Dimension, I just want to put on there because I was like, I've never heard of this before until it was at the Game Awards, even though I had, because this was in a Nintendo Direct. and it came out and I guess was awesome, but not a lot of people played it. Like I just didn't hear about it. Snuck its way into Game of the Year, man. Almost. Well, it didn't win, but yeah.
I mean, it could have been close.
Could have been. Splatoon 3 Side Order is the 2024 great game that didn't get the attention it deserved. And yeah, was it a game? It was DLC and not a game, but it was the price of a new game, essentially. So, yeah. Give us our next one, Micah.
And now we got suggested by Octorock, 2024 games that got more attention than they deserved.
Okay. Okay.
The
Strong
list
opinions here, I
is
think.
Balatro, Power World, Sonic X Generations,
Sonic's
Concord.
X Shadow Generations.
Close enough. Wait, what did I say actually?
You just said Sonic's X Generation. Sonic X Generations. Speaking of, that movie came out.
Sonic X Shadow Generations, Concord, and Astrobot.
Well, a lot of people made Astrobot their game of the year. I don't.
Yeah,
And-
I feel like I can't say that.
And from what I have seen of it, I think it's deserving of that. Like it looks really good.
Yeah.
As a Mario fan, maybe I have
I
bias.
mean, it looks kind of a lot like Mario Sunshine. if I'm
Yeah,
being honest.
it really does. It really does. Or like a Mario Galaxy almost, because you're like hopping around all these different worlds. Yeah. I don't want to give this one to Astrobot because I think that one it got a lot of attention, but I think it got more attention than it deserved because PlayStation doesn't make enough of those kinds of games.
They did it real good.
And they did it really good. They need to make more. Like besides like what Sackboy, they don't really have like a platformer that they have put a lot of energy into, and that one just was really good. I've heard sentiment from you that Balatro may have been a bit overhyped. But you liked it. You played a lot of hours into it, but it's like it's not.
I liked it. I think I put like 30 hours into it or something. I think it's a good game, but I do think it was a bit overhyped to be in the Game of the Award discussion.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just me.
What about Power World?
I think that's kind of the same. I think I played like twice. I thought it was pretty good, but then it got way too grindy.
It
Pretty
got
quick.
more attention than it deserved just because it put guns in Pokemon. That's like it's like
yeah,
that's its like sole marketing strategy. It was like guns and Pokemon. It's
Yeah.
kind of what it went for the shock value, and it worked. I mean, the game was like crazy huge for that like 2 weeks when it first came out.
yeah. And it's not like a bad game, but
Sonic's I can't. Sonic X Shadows Generations. I don't think this got more attention than it deserved. I think this game's marketing was pushed so hard. I saw so many ads for this game. Like,
I'd forgotten about this game.
oh man, it was constant ads on Twitch and YouTube. And a lot of people are like, "Oh, why don't you use ad blockers?" Because I'm not a monster, okay? No, that's not. It's just because I just don't. Power to you for skipping ads. I should, but I don't. Sonic's. I'm gonna stop saying it. I'm gonna stop saying it. Sonic X Generations.
That's a good call.
I feel like
You forgot the shadow part.
I did exactly what you did. I called you out on doing. Sonic X Shadow Generations
There we go. We can say this name correctly.
is only getting more attention than it deserves because it is getting way more marketing than it deserves. It's not that important of a game. And Sega is really trying to push it like they were really trying to get those Christmas sales, man. They really were like and I think it's also in conjunction with the movie coming out. They're like, "Look, it's a game with Keanu Reeves guy in it." They're trying.
Yeah.
And yeah. Now Concord.
Did that even get that much attention?
I mean, it did.
The attention it got was from it not being good,
It would be
And
a
then
catastrophic failure. Yeah.
closing.
So I don't know. I don't know if it got more attention than it deserved. It didn't really get any attention in its game. It got attention for being bad. You're right. That's not really the same thing. It's not. It wasn't overhyped. If that's what this category means. But I think it may have been slammed a bit harder than it needed to be, but also
Probably.
where are you leaning on this? This list is I kind
I'm
of
kind of thinking Power World.
I kind of lean on the top two. Yeah. And
Yeah, Power World or maybe Balatro was my runner-up.
I'm
It's still a good game.
yeah. I'm gonna go with Power World as well. Got more attention than it deserves. But I also kind of
I think it's good. It got a lot of attention.
Is this controversial to say that I'm glad that it did, because Pokemon needs to be knocked off their freaking high horse, or should I say high ponyta? They need to
You
be
shouldn't have
knocked
said that.
down a peg because they are lazy. They are sloppy and lazy, and they are the number one media company franchise in the world, and their games have been doo-doo in
What?
their
Did you
release
put,
form
like,
quality.
170 hours into
I don't.
Scarlet and
Hey,
Violet?
I put a lot of time into it, but I openly say that it released in an unacceptable quality. And
I didn't have very many issues.
I know you didn't.
You
bring
just
this up every
focus
time.
Too much on graphics.
Right.
It's all about
You bring
the
this up every
gameplay,
time,
man.
but I am not alone here. I'm not crazy. Don't try and gaslight me
I don't
into
think
saying
I've
that it
heard
was good.
anyone mention it's had bad graphics or anything.
You're so- but yeah, that I feel like competition for Pokemon is good. And Pokemon seems to think so too, because they're suing Pal World. They're like, oh no, don't make us work harder. Now we have to compete with someone. Oh, that's my impression of Pokemon executives. I love Pokemon. Can I just say that? Like I grew up with Pokemon. I love it, and so
I
I
don't
just
know if I believe you after what you just said.
well, I just want it to be better. It's like the same way that I love my country, but I just want it to be better. It's, we can be disappointed and still enjoy a series. We could be disappointed with it, but still enjoy it, right? I think Pokemon could be so much better.
Maybe.
And Pal World presented a possibility of what a better Pokemon game could look like. And what is it? It's a generic survival game that starts in beta and never leaves beta. Just like all of those games that are like that. I mean, it's essentially, what was the game that we played that was like Nordic? Valheim. It's Valheim. Like the same game, but it has Pokemon in it. So
And guns.
and guns.
Don't forget the guns.
Valheim might have guns. We didn't make it that far. We don't know. Maybe it does.
Yeah, maybe they have added guns by this point.
But yeah, I feel like it's a fun game too. Like, we enjoyed our time with Power World, but it didn't hook us in. But it hooked a lot of people in, and I think is spawning a franchise, which I want to see. Pokemon used to have competitors, mostly just Digimon, but
Yeah,
now
so
they
I'm
don't really
thinking
have that anymore.
Temtem?
Temtem? No, Temtem didn't.
They competed for a very short amount of time.
I don't think they did. Like, when it came out, it was pretty mediocrely reviewed. Like, it was like a 7 out of 10 game, which is fine, but it didn't do what Power World did. And that's put guns. If they just put in guns, I don't know. I'm looking forward to the change that Power World is initiating more than what Power World is by itself. And I hope that Power World as a game continues to improve and become like a more solid regular game. And then I hope Power World 2 is even cooler. Anyways, that was a long-winded rant on that. Sorry, Octorok. It's probably not what we wanted. I gave it more attention than it deserved. In the spirit of the award, it goes to Pal World. Next one up is from Fedora Will, and this is the most replayable Nintendo game / DLC of 2024. Number 1, we have Splatoon 3 Side Order. Ooh, multiple categories. Category sweeper, potentially. Number 2, Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. Number 3, The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Number 4, Super Mario Party Jamboree. And number 5, Endless Ocean Luminous. And also shout out to our buddy Sam, Third Strongest Mole. Says congrats on 300 episodes in the chat. Thank you for being here, my friend. Appreciate that. All right, Micah, I talked the ear off of you and the audience in the last category. I want to hear your thoughts on this one.
Well, start with the ones I think aren't as replayable. I feel like Echoes of Wisdom isn't that replayable.
I'm glad that you brought it out. I really don't think it is. It's like kind of got the freedom to go, oh, I'm going to play this in a completely different way. But I think if you aren't me, you're probably not going to replay the game again after you play it that first time. Because I'm going to do things like Echoes of Wisdom, but only using tables, you know, like challenge runs and speed runs. But I think for general audiences and replayability, I agree. I don't think it's that replayable. It is a very free game, like freedom of exploration and stuff. But
yeah, I'm not too sure about Endless Dungeon. Not Endless Dungeon. That's actually a very replayable game. Endless Ocean, Luminous. I seem to remember that did not get very good reviews.
No, it's kind of like a more of a just like go and hang out in the ocean game.
It's like Subnautica, but actually relaxing, right?
Yeah, but not really like Subnautica at all. You're just kind of like swimming around.
It's
and
just
taking
that there's the
pictures of
ocean,
fish.
you swim in it.
Yeah, that's really it.
Which means they're practically the same game.
Splatoon 3 Side Order is a roguelike, so it does have a lot of replay value. Nintendo World Championships NES Edition
has their weekly challenges.
But
I don't know if that's like
you and I fell off.
I mean, kind of, yeah. Yeah, we did kind of fall off. That's just because we needed more people to challenge us.
Maybe.
I don't really care how I rate to other rando people.
You want to know what happened? You left on a trip. And then who was motivating me to get my records lower at that point? There was that like month where we played every week. You and me would play like on stream. We should bring that back, man. That was fun.
It's good times.
That was fun. So I guess it's up there, but we fell off. So is it up there? These are the questions. How you feeling about Mario Party?
It's a good question.
I feel like by its nature, it's a pretty replayable game. Like it's one to bust out for parties. But
yeah, but it's almost like you'd say that Smash Bros is replayable.
Which it is.
Which it is, but like
Smash Bros is. If Smash
like
Bros was on this list, it would win.
Replayable game.
Yes.
I mean, by its nature, it's just like
it
the gameplay loop is 3 minutes.
Mario Parties is not though.
Much longer, but it's the same kind. Well, yeah.
It's a party game.
It just seems, yeah, exactly. It's a party game, which I mean,
I feel like that kind of
obviously means it's replayable, but it almost feels like it should be disqualified.
Why? I don't understand why a party game would be disqualified from being replayable.
It just is.
What I think gives Mario Party Jamboree a little bit of an edge is its variety of game modes, and that it has a very good.
You're not replaying those same things. You're replaying different game modes.
You're replaying the game. but it has a pretty robust online, and that Kupathlon mode, pretty quick fire up. There's also the cooperative Bowser mode. Again, we need to play that together too.
Yeah, I don't even remember that. I don't think I've done that.
So this is a tougher category. I don't really have like a clear cut winner here. I can tell you what it's not. Echoes of Wisdom, I think, is out for me, and Endless Ocean, I think, is out for me.
Yeah. I'm not too sure the other way, like for the other three.
Yeah, I think Splatoon 3 side order is a yes and no. Once you beat it, is there much of a reason to go back to it?
Yes. I don't remember those reasons though, but I've had them explained to me.
Okay.
It's like to beat it with different weapons, I think, essentially.
Yeah, but I just don't know. Like it's kind of one of those things where it's like people playing Splatoon 3 aren't playing Splatoon 3 for side order. They're not coming back to the game to play side order some more. They're coming back to the game to play online in the versus matches for Splatoon 3. And for Splatfests and events, which side order doesn't have. And in that regard, I feel like out of all these options, Nintendo World Championships might make the most sense.
I mean,
because
it's like built to be the most replayable just by how it has the weekly challenges.
Yeah. Is that what we're feeling? I think we've talked ourselves into it. The answer, the winner of the most replayable.
We did it for a month.
Yeah, the winner of the most replayable 2024 Nintendo game / DLC is Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. My personal is probably Super Mario Party Jamboree, but I think between those two, I probably spent an equal amount of times replaying. And well, no, Nintendo World Championships is just a no-brainer here. That's when I'm literally playing the same game.
Remember we
over
did that
and
Metroid
over
run?
and over again. Yeah.
Super
No,
Metroid?
I don't even know why. I don't even know why I'd
1,000
argue
times?
anything else. That now that we've talked about it, yeah, that's the winner. And that leaves us to our final category, and close to the end of the episode here, Micah. And the final category is the Nintendo Pals Game of the Year. But before we get to that, we have our special category that we have every year. And that is the Micah Award and the Andros Award. The Micah Award and Andros Award are our personal 2024 Game of the Year picks. And this kind of gives the opportunity for... And they have to be games that came out in 2024. This gives the opportunity for us to pick games that we know probably weren't the game of the year, but like our personal favorites. So
what's your choice?
I think my choice for the Andros Award, I'm just gonna go back to what we did at the beginning when we went over my year in review. I'm gonna give it to Super Mario Party Jamboree. Potentially recency bias with that one because it did just drop in October, but I mean, it's been a couple months. And like Paper Mario Thousand Year Door is up there too. That's tough.
It's pretty good.
It was really good. Sticking to it though. I'm gonna go Super Mario Party Jamboree. What I learned about myself this year is that I am a hardcore Mario Party fan. I love that series. And I didn't know that about myself. I just always considered myself a casual fan until I realized, no, I love all of these games. And this was the one that really set me on that path to now call this one of my favorite Nintendo series, which a lot of people scoff at, including my own co-host Micah. What? Mario Party? That's like a party game. Those
I
don't
would
count as
never
real
s-
games.
Those don't count as replayability games.
But that's my answer. Micah, what gets the Micah Award this year?
Well, I, I think I gotta give it to Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door.
You are a legend. You didn't even play it.
But I played the original. It's only that, but better, I hear.
Yeah. Well, I think that I think we both kind of. I want to use our twin telepathy. I think we know who wins Game of the Year, but
We
let's list
shied
off.
away from the Game of the Year.
Yeah, let's
as our
list
own
off
personal.
the nominees for the Nintendo Pals Game of the Year. Number 1, The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Number 2, Mario and Luigi Brothership. Number 3, Super Mario Party Jamboree. Number 4, Balatro. Number 5, The Plucky Squire. Number 6, Animal Well. And number 7, Nintendo World Championships NES Edition. And the Game of the Year, the Nintendo Game of the Year, has got to go to... Pointing to you, Micah.
Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom.
The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. Yep. Oh, I was going to say... Nintendo
Animal
World
Well.
Championships NES
But
Edition.
actually, Animal Well is a pretty cool puzzle game.
Have you
Got
played
some
it?
real hard puzzles. I did not technically play it, but I had a roommate that played it, and I was in their room at the same time,
Nice.
and would give input and help on puzzles and things.
Yeah, it's a good little like Metroidvania-ish game.
Yeah.
But The
I
Legend
haven't
of Zelda...
played Mario and Luigi Brothership yet, so who knows? That might be my personal.
Yeah. The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom was like by far Nintendo's biggest game for this year. For me, as like top tier. I mean, it kind of came out of nowhere as well. Like they announced it, and we're like, "Oh, what?" And then boom, it's here, and it is a classic style Zelda game with a very cool twist to kind of keep it feeling fresh and not like a remake like Link's Awakening, you know? So, yeah, I think it's a really well done, it's really fun, and it's Zelda, so it's going to be good. And I think it kind of just goes to show. I mean, this is a pretty killer list of games here. This is the last year of the Switch's life, and there were a lot of great games this year. I would say not nearly as strong as 2023, as far as like big ticket titles. And remember when people were like, "The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom is the last major Nintendo
Those
game."
fools. They were so wrong.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, that is clearly wrong. But last year that was Nintendo's Game of the Year, and this year it's Echoes of Wisdom. There is definitely a difference in the level of content and like I don't even know what you'd call it. It's not quality, but it's like depth of the game. Like Tears of the Kingdom is a very deep and intricate open world game, and Echoes of Wisdom is like a much more simple 2D style Zelda game. So this year has been smaller games for sure, but the games that came out were bangers, and it's been a big year for indies with like Balatro, Fantasian, Plucky Squire, Animal Well. So this was probably one of the best send-off years I've seen in Nintendo history. As far as like games go. I mean, when it comes to like recent memory, the Wii U did not end with a bang. it
No.
it died in a corner, sad and alone, whimpering. Like, oh no. It was ditched. Hardcore. But the Switch, not so. And I think next year is going to be a absolutely banger year for Nintendo. We've got a new system coming out, and rumors hinting to some pretty big titles potentially coming. So it's gonna be a good one. Time for Breath of the Wild 3 next year. Could you imagine? You imagine they've been
If it
working on
came
that?
out next year,
Yeah.
or if they
Nope.
just literally a shadow drop at the end of a direct, like, hey, guess what? We got this game and it's available now.
That'd be
There's
freaking
no
legendary.
way.
There is no way. Oh
The
man.
amount of people they would have had to have murdered to keep that from leaking would be off the charts.
They brought in the Yakuza.
It's like the Minority Report, but instead of crimes and
It's
murders, it
Nintendo
can
leaks.
detect leaks.
Well, that's gonna do it for this fantastic 300th episode. Our award show, the PAL Awards 2024. Thank you to everybody who submitted categories and nominees. It was a very fun year. We kind of did things differently this year. And this is an end to Nintendo Pals episodes for this year and an end to this season of Nintendo Pals. When we come back, we will be starting a brand new season of the show. What changes will that entail?
Nobody knows.
Yeah, I like to pretend like we have huge plans and it's a secret to everybody. Oh, yeah, did you get that reference? It's a secret to everybody. But truly, it is a secret to everybody, including us. We don't really have plans. But there will be a new season and changes will come. So look forward to that in the new year. Micah and I will be back. Probably second week of January when that episode will come to fruition. So, in the meantime, have a safe and happy holiday to all. Enjoy the 20 or so episodes Micah is uploading over the course of the break. And thank you so much for listening. Micah, close us out here with some wise words of wisdom.
Belief is often strongest when it should be weakest. That is the nature of hope.
Good message to end the year with. And here's to an awesome 2025. Nintendo Pal's biggest year yet? You decide, listener, by leaving us a 5-star review on your podcast listening app of choice. You're going to help us take over the world. 2025 is our year. Let's go!